Welcome back to GameVault HQ. Today, we're diving deep into Volgarr the Viking 2, a game that promises to test your mettle in the most brutal ways imaginable. If you're a fan of old-school difficulty, then buckle up. This one's for you. Volgarr the Viking 2 is the long-awaited sequel to the 2013 indie hit Volgarr the Viking, and it brings with it a wave of nostalgia for fans of classic 2D platformers. Developed by Digital Eclipse and Crazy Viking Studios, this sequel does not stray far from the formula that made the original both beloved and notorious. It's a game that feels ripped straight from the late 80s and early 90s, channeling the spirit of classics like Ghosts and Goblins and ActRaiser. The gameplay of Volgarr the Viking 2 is deceptively simple. You move through levels, slice through enemies with your sword, and occasionally hurl spears to create makeshift platforms. Sounds easy, right? Well, don't be fooled. This game is hard, like throw your controller hard. Enemies are relentless, traps are unforgiving, and movement is rigid, meaning every jump and attack must be carefully planned. One wrong move, and you're sent back to the start, making your way through levels that seem to stretch on forever. The challenge isn't just in the tough combat. It's also in the level design. Levels are significantly larger than in the original game, which means you'll need to rely on the newly introduced runestones for checkpoints. But here's the catch. You can destroy these checkpoints for additional points, adding a risk-reward element to an already punishing experience. One of the most intriguing aspects of Volgarr the Viking 2 is its undead Volgarr mechanic. Die too many times, and you'll be forced into a God mode, where you take no damage, but at the cost of receiving the game's worst ending. It's a controversial feature that has sparked debate among players. Some see it as a fitting consequence for failure, while others find it unnecessarily punitive, especially since the only way to reset this state is by deleting your save file and starting over. Despite these challenges, the game is fair. If you die, it's usually because you made a mistake, not because the game cheated you. Mastering the game brings a level of satisfaction that is rare in modern titles, making every victory feel hard-earned and well-deserved. In terms of presentation, Volgarr the Viking 2 is a feast for the eyes. The pixel art is stunning, capturing the gritty, dark atmosphere of a Viking saga. Every level is meticulously designed, with a variety of environments that range from eerie forests to ancient ruins. The animations are smooth, and the combat feels weighty, making every swing of Volgar's sword feel impactful. The soundtrack, composed to evoke the epic scale of Norse mythology, is another highlight. It perfectly complements the intense gameplay, driving you forward even when the odds are stacked against you. Volgarr the Viking 2 is not a game for everyone. Its difficulty is its defining feature, and while this may deter some players, it's exactly what will attract others. If you're someone who relishes a challenge, who finds joy in mastering a game through sheer persistence and skill, then Volgarr the Viking 2 is a must-play. However, if you're easily frustrated or prefer a more forgiving experience, you might find yourself more annoyed than entertained. The game's brutal difficulty, combined with its old-school mechanics, makes it a title that's best suited for those who have the patience and perseverance to see it through to the end. So, should you pick up Volgarr the Viking 2? If you're up for the challenge and enjoy games that make you earn every inch of progress, absolutely. It's a worthy successor to the original, offering a brutally satisfying experience that will keep you coming back for more, if you can handle it. That's all for this review. What do you think about Volgarr the Viking 2? Is this level of difficulty a welcome challenge or just too much? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to GameVault HQ for more game reviews, news, and deep dives into the world of gaming. Until next time, stay epic.